The first Daytona International. The Atlantic hammered smooth the beach at Daytona to provide it. And the surf still echoes to the roaring engines of pioneer drivers racing on nature's straightaway half a century ago. Ransom O. Louis Chevrolet, Henry Ford, Vanderbilt in a Mercedes, Barney Oldfield in a Blitzen Benz, Tommy Milton in a Duesenberg. Then Seagrave's 1,000 horsepower Sunbeam flashed down the beach, and for the first time on land, man reached 200 miles an hour. Malcolm Campbell called his 2,500 horses Bluebird. It flew 276 miles an hour. Daytona became the world's most famous beach. Not only specials built for speed, but stock cars, fresh from the factories, tested themselves against the challenge of the measured mile. How fast could a stock car go? Brave men were willing to find out. Bill Norcott was saved by a seatbelt and modern auto design. The driver walked away and raced again another year. Testing may touch the edge of disaster, but modern auto design grew by running for the checkered flag on the Great Sand Speedway. Yet, the fans desired something more. Competition, car against car, on one of the toughest race courses ever designed. A 2-mile beach straightaway, a narrow asphalt road, rough, broken, fast. To connect them, hairpin turns, where fans would cheer them on. This became an arena for the best stock cars in America. Here, the modern American automobile was forged in competition. Year by year, stock cars grew more powerful. The public wanted performance. Stock car pilots proved that performance was there. In 10 years of racing, average speed went from 70 miles an hour to 100. Straightaway speed reached 130. The cars and drivers outraced the track, became too fast for the old beach and road course. Nature's straightaway was smooth and fast, but the soft sandy turns, ripped by traffic and broadside driving, grew dangerous. Something new was needed. A new measure of man's ambition. A giant speedway where high horsepower could be tested full throttle. The old proving ground that served for 50 years now is silent. Only the surf recalls the roaring past. Daytona's new proving ground, an expressway to tomorrow, took shape. The new Daytona International Speedway is designed for cars not yet built. Cars that cannot be built until man has learned the limits of today's cars. $3 million and 50 years of speed at Daytona built this 2.5 mile speedway. Now, the best drivers in America measure their cars and themselves on what is designed to be the fastest racetrack in the world. They run the first miles alone, learning the groove, the best way around. Invisible forces strain and twist the chassis. The engine threatens to rip itself apart. The wind becomes a living force, slamming drivers sideways as they come off the corners. Running alone, they touch 140 miles an hour. Traffic patterns develop. Can they pass in the turns pasted against the asphalt wall? No one knows. Only the brave try to find out. New strategy appears. Drift up behind another car. Ride in the vacuum created as the car ahead rams through the air. Save your engine. Make him pull you along. Careful. Not too close. You're traveling a city block a second. Now, try a pass. How does it feel to run in front at 140? Like nothing else in this world. They reach for still greater speed. Like a man returning from outer space, Fireball Roberts tells of a lap at 145. How much faster can you go? How fast before the strain on valves, rods, bearings turns a finely tuned engine into a twisted lump of metal in a split second? Beyond 145 lies an invisible barrier. Then, the mechanics put in new engines, or repair old ones. Driver and mechanic wonder, what does it take to win? Are we fast enough? No one knows. No one has ever raced 500 miles this way before. Past day, bright, clear, windless, race day. The sound of thunder in the clear sky is man-made. An Air Force salute of speed booming across 450 acres. 47,000 fans, the largest crowd ever gathered at Daytona, wait for the fast cars to run. The mechanics can do no more. Baby it. Don't beat it. I've spent a month putting it together. Breathe the engine. Watch the tires. Watch yourself. The last moment. Drivers sharing their knowledge of the track. the common enemy. Rookie Fritz Wilson, veteran Tim Flock, Fireball Roberts. He has a practice lap at 145. And Joe Weatherly, Buck Baker. NASCAR national champion Lee Petty with Richard, his 22-year-old son. Together, they do the mechanical work on their cars. The pace lap on the giant tri-oval begins. One slow lap before a flying start. The pace car leads them out, as if thousands of practice miles have not taught them the way around. They know that three cars together can run the turns at racing speed. They do not know what happens under the pressure of competition. Passing slower cars, bitter fighting for every advantage, using the last measure of skill. 59 cars and their drivers rolling in search of this special knowledge reserved only for them. "59 drivers daring to learn about their cars and themselves. 500 miles from now, they will know." The race is on. In half a lap, the lead changes twice. Fritz Wilson, a rookie, leads them through the first turn, setting a car-killing pace to stay in front, out of traffic. On the backstretch, Wilson hits 140 miles an hour. Roaring up on the third turn, Wilson has the nerve, but not the experience to keep his foot down, and the lead changes. Bob Wellborn's number 49 sets the pace. In 5 laps, the pattern becomes clear. The leaders wait for a passing chance, run in front, then drop back, saving their cars. The early leaders, Wellborn, Weatherly, Pistone, measure each other in short bursts of speed, then wait for the challengers to work their way through the field. The lead changes 6 times in the first 30 miles. The first 50 miles are run in 23 minutes. 142 miles an hour. The fastest official time ever recorded by stock cars on a closed course. Car in the pits. A convertible handled by Dick Petty. The smoother streamlining of the sedans give them a 10-mile-an-hour advantage. 22-year-old Petty has burned out his engine trying to keep up with the faster sedans. His dad, Lee Petty, fabulously fast in qualifications, holds back in 7th position, running for distance. Young Petty is finished, a victim of ambition. The race goes on. Bob Wellborn in a Chevrolet and Tom Pistone in a Thunderbird blazing the trail at 143 miles an hour. Half a lap behind, coming from 46th starting position, a black and gold Comet is working through the field. Fireball Roberts in number 3 Pontiac. Rim riding at 145 miles an hour. Fireball Roberts has passed 34 cars in one of the most amazing rides ever seen on a racetrack. Roberts leads, shaking off challengers at 146 miles an hour. Bob Wellborn, an early leader, in the pits, his engine failing. 12 cars have already left the race. They had early speed, but couldn't make it last. The secrets of why they failed are puzzled out in the quiet leisure of the garage. Half a lap ahead of other front-runners, Fireball Roberts continues an amazing pace. 146 miles an hour. Scheduled pit stop for fuel and fresh tires begins. Jack Smith brings in his Chevrolet. Fast, smooth driving brought him into third place before his stop. Right behind Smith, Lee Petty roars into the pit. The crafty 44-year-old NASCAR national champion must refuel. Dick Petty signals his father. Young Petty is in charge of his father's pit crew. Then the front runner, Fireball Roberts Pontiac, comes in, and the race is wide open again. As Roberts slows, Jack Smith's Chevrolet is ready to race. Roberts has a full lap lead over Smith. 1 minute and 4 seconds to change tires and refuel. Enough time. Lee Petty roars away from the pit wall to follow Smith. Roberts is underway. Something is wrong. His engine stalled. He can't restart. Jack Smith roars past the pits into first place. Roberts is out of the race. Fuel pump failure. .200 miles becomes 300, with Jack Smith holding a slim lead as the laps are completed and the seconds tick away. Only 40 cars still running at 300 miles. The average speed, 136 miles an hour. A few can run that fast, mile after mile. Many cannot. Some pit stops are 5 minutes long, while mechanics attempt makeshift repairs. After weeks of practice and nights without sleep, the last thing you do is quit until there's no hope left. And no iron to run with. Jack Smith opens a slim lead. The pursuit is hot and relentless. Johnny Beauchamp in a Thunderbird, Lee Petty in an Oldsmobile, Joe Weatherly's Chevrolet, Curtis Turner in a Thunderbird, running like the Four Horsemen. The steady, hypnotic speed, mile after mile, is the great danger. Jack Smith, the leader, makes an unscheduled pit stop. The incessant running at 140 miles an hour, the unceasing pressure of competition, broke Smith's pre-race strategy. As precious seconds slip away, Lee Petty in number 42 and Johnny Beauchamp in 73 roar into first and second place, with their pit crews whipping them on. Petty in number 42 Oldsmobile, Beauchamp in number 73 Thunderbird, in a showdown race, pasted together at 135 miles an hour. Lee Petty, in answer to his son's signal, takes a small lead. Beauchamp hangs on Petty's tail, using the vacuum created by number 42 to pull him along. Number 48, Joe Weatherly, is a lap behind. There's the white flag. The leaders enter the last lap in a dead heat. Weatherly a lap behind in number 48. Petty in 42 and Beauchamp in 73. The leaders. 1 mile to go. In the final stretch, Weatherly is high on the track. Lee Petty in the center, Beauchamp below him. The checkered flag. The race is over. Both Petty and Beauchamp clock in the identical time, 3 hours, 41 minutes, 22 seconds. Petty and Beauchamp both wheel to the winner's circle. Both accept congratulations of the crowd in one of the most amazing finishes ever recorded in stock car racing. The on-the-spot, unofficial decision went to Beauchamp, pending examination of photos. Both cars posted a speed of 135.52 miles an hour. That one stock passenger automobile could travel 500 miles at this speed is remarkable. That two could do it borders on the incredible. But Daytona history records an amazing parallel. It was 1902. Alexander Winton and Ransom Olds, the man who gave his name to the Oldsmobile, spent the winter near Daytona Beach. Olds said his car could outrun Winton's. They raced a measured mile to settle the argument, and the result is recorded as a dead heat at 57 miles an hour. Both men were dissatisfied and scheduled a formal 3-day meet in February 1903. The races were advertised as diversion and sport for society people who are guests of the Ormond Hotel. Thus was born racing on the Great Sand Speedway. A dead heat at 57 miles an hour led to a near-dead heat at 135 half a century later. The official decision, based on photos such as this, gave Lee Petty in number 42 the victory by a margin of less than 1 yard. Weatherly in number 48, a lap behind, took 5th place. After 500 miles, Lee Petty's margin of victory was by 1 yard. Lee Petty became the first winner of the first 500-mile event at the Daytona International Speedway.